O heavenly King, Comforter, Spirit of truth, who art everywhere present and fillest all things, treasury of blessings and giver of life, come and dwell within us, cleanse us of all stain, and save our souls, O gracious one. Mass amnesia has struck the world. We've all observed this phenomenon. 10 years ago, we all knew what a woman was. But all of a sudden, the entire world is now confused on what a woman is. If you were to ask a doctor, you were to ask an attorney, a scholar, what a woman is 10 years ago, we knew pretty easily how to answer that question. But all of a sudden, in the last few years, we just have experienced this mass amnesia. And now the greatest scholars in the world, gender studies scholars, they can't tell you what a woman is. It's a question that just baffles the minds of the greatest intellects of our day. And again, is something we've all observed in the last few years. Well, mass amnesia has now come to the Catholic Church. Instead of staying just kind of in secular part of the world, it's come into the Catholic Church, the likes of which we've never seen before in church history, save that one time with the death penalty controversy, when all of the sudden everyone conveniently forgot what the word inadmissible meant. Aside from that, we're now experiencing mass amnesia, and we just don't know what basic words mean anymore. It just baffles us. Our greatest scholars, our greatest cardinals, greatest bishops, greatest priests, and greatest theologians. You ask them basic questions and they don't know anymore. It's like asking them, what is a woman? I just don't know. Don't know anymore. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Share my screen. Watch this little clip. For your daily humor, same-sex couple blessings, fiducia supplicans, contradiction with Father Cristino. Let's watch this mass amnesia at work here in this discussion.
It seems contradictory. How is it possible to bless a couple but not a union?
That's what I'm suggesting is an invalid distinction.
There you go, y'all. It's an invalid distinction. A union versus a couple. Psh, what's the difference? Same thing, right? It's a distinction without a difference. There's no difference between a union and a couple. Huh. Interesting. Well, if you look at the document in question, Fiducia Supplicans, well, how does it define I can't believe I'm actually having to do this and explain what these basic terms mean, but I'll indulge this mass amnesia. All of a sudden we forgot what these terms mean. Okay. What is a union? I feel like I'm asking a person in Times Square, what is a woman? What is a union? Well, the document says the church does not have the power to impart blessings on unions of persons of the same sex. Well, a union is different than a person. You see that? That's number one. But number two, what is this union? Well, it's referring to the document from 2021. Now, how is union defined in that document? Well, you just go to it in the 2021 document that it's citing, and it tells you what a union is. Look at this. For this reason, it is not licit to impart a blessing on relationships or partnerships, even stable, that involve sexual activity outside of marriage, as in the case of the unions between persons of the same sex. What is a union? It is a relationship. Relationship. Now, what's the difference between a relationship and a couple? Well, if you just go to any dictionary, it'll tell you what a couple is. A couple is two people in a relationship. But more importantly, how does the document define the word couple? Well, the document itself defines the word couple as individuals, two individuals in a relationship. Paragraph 38. For this reason, one should not provide for nor promote a ritual for the blessings of couples in an irregular situation. The ordained minister could ask that the individuals have peace. Okay, so what is a couple? It's two individuals in a relationship. A union is a relationship. A couple is two people in a relationship. Unions refers to relationships. Individuals, couple refers to two persons. A relationship is not a person. So let's listen to, or let's think through again what Father told us here. He says, there's no difference between blessing a couple, blessing a union, same thing. Really? Okay, so if there's no difference between two persons in a relationship versus the relationship itself, which how did we get to the point that we literally are supposed to believe there's no difference between two persons in a relationship versus the relationship itself? How did we get to this, again, mass amnesia moment? I don't know, but I'll indulge it further. If there's no difference between two persons in a relationship versus their relationship itself, that would mean every time a couple breaks up or every time a couple gets divorced, they would cease to exist. They would disappear from planet Earth. They would no longer exist because there's no distinction now between two persons in a relationship versus the relationship itself. If it's the same thing, every time you had a divorce, two people would disappear off the face of the earth. It would be like the rapture. You know, it would just whoosh, disappear, bam, left behind. And there would be a pile of clothes and shoes left behind, but they would disappear. Because there's no difference between a relationship and the persons in the relationship, right? How can we take this seriously? I fear to ask Father what a woman is. I'm afraid of what his answer would be. Would it be, I don't know. I don't know what a woman is. So I honestly have to ask some questions, okay? There's a couple options here. There's a couple possibilities that would account for what's going on when a person with a straight face can get on camera and say, well, a distinction between blessing unions and blessing couples, psh, no different. It's the same thing. A person who would seriously suggest that, there's 5 possibilities, okay? 5 possibilities that I could think of here. I can't think of a sixth. 5 possibilities. Number 1, mass amnesia. We have all of a sudden forgotten what basic words like couple versus union means. Couples versus relationships. Persons and individuals versus relationships and unions. We've all of a sudden forgot what these basic words mean. That's one possibility. Okay, one possibility. Number 2, all of a sudden, everyone has been reduced to a very low IQ, a very low IQ level. It's a possibility. I don't know if that's the case. It's a possibility. I'm throwing it out as an option. There's 5 of them. Those are 2 so far. 3 is maybe people are lying, like they know better. They're not experiencing mass amnesia. They're just lying. They're just deceiving us. I guess it's a possibility, right? I mean, so that's 3 out of 5. Another one that I could think of is people are just not trying to understand. They lack goodwill. So they're capable of understanding. It's not that they have mass amnesia. It's not that they're trying to lie. It's not that they're low intelligence. It's just that they could understand. They're just not trying to understand. That's a fourth option here. Or number 5, they are importing into these documents meanings for words that are foreign to what the document actually says. That's another possibility. That they're defining what a couple is or defining what a union is, not based on how the document defines them, but based on, I don't know, some philosophical concept that they have. And they're importing that into the document. Those are the 5 possibilities that we have at this point. And at this moment, I just don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know which one it is. But I know that this has become hilarious. Regardless of which one it is, this has become the funniest thing I've ever seen in Catholic history. I've never seen anything more hilarious in church history than this. And I'm a huge church history buff. And I've never seen a moment that is more laughable than this in church history. We're living through it. If you thank God for nothing else, thank him for the fact that you get to witness a time in church history that is probably the funniest moment that has ever happened in 2,000 years in the church. We've just forgotten what basic words mean. It's hilarious. I can't take this seriously. I can't. I cannot. And this is what the dissenters are reduced to. Mass amnesia, low IQ, lying, a lack of goodwill, or sophistry. Importing words into meanings into words that are foreign than the actual document. I don't know. It's great. Coda says, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it was aliens. All right, add that. That's number 6. I was actually kind of thinking that. I was thinking that. Maybe aliens, right, have replaced all humans, and this is a joke being played out by aliens. That is, I guess, a 6th possibility. Coda says, oh boy, he finally snapped. You gotta admit, this is the funniest moment in church history. Have you ever seen anything like this? Again, aside from that time that we all of a sudden conveniently forgot what the word inadmissible meant. Aside from that time, have you ever seen anything like this before? I cannot mention one time in church history where anything even close to this has happened before. It's quite hilarious. I guess it was the same thing with the filioque. I don't know. I could see that one being different, right? Because filioque, you have distinctions between hypostatic procession, economic procession, and energetic procession. So I could understand there being some confusion on that point. I get that. On this one though, I'm sorry, I I don't get it, but this has got to be the funniest thing I've ever seen. Religious stuff says maybe a rat trad comedy hour because this is getting that. Yeah, I think we need to just kind of like take all of these and combine them and put them into just like one highlight clip. Maybe somebody, maybe one of y'all can do that for me. That would be pretty epic. Father Brown says, on day 1, I read couple to mean 2 people bound by something. I read union to mean the glue that binds. I never say I met a union today, right? I say I met a couple. Difference seems clear. Right. Sure. So, I don't understand what's going on at this point with the people who don't get it. I'm leaning to mass amnesia though. That or the ancient aliens theory that ancient aliens have replaced all of them, and they're not actually humans, they're actually aliens. And it's like this huge alien conspiracy as one big joke that's being played on the rest of us who still remember what the difference is between a couple and a union. You just have to laugh at this stuff at this point. It's so ridiculous. Anyways, I had to sneak this in. I had to get it in there. I figured y'all would enjoy it. And again, we need some levity. Hey, hit that like button and the subscribe button and share this with everyone who, again, has all of a sudden forgot what these terms mean. All right. We'll see you later. God bless. Have you ever wanted to learn what are some common logical fallacies and even to be able to spot them in apologetics content? If you're an up-and-coming apologist or just a person who wants to sharpen your understanding so that you can defend your faith better, I have just the course for you. It's my Logical Fallacies in Apologetics course. In this course, I explain what the most common logical fallacies are, and then I provide actual examples of these fallacies from apologists who argue against the Catholic Church. This is a 16-part course with a new lesson added at least once a week. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, check it out at reason.podia.com.